Hey, friends. How is everyone this evening? Um, Hope everyone's had a great day. Happy that it's Thursday, both because it's a day closer to Friday and because I get to spend time with all of you. So that makes me excited. Let's see who's in the chat. We have Jay. Hey, Walter. Thanks, Sean, for extra special video. Yes, yeah. So if you haven't seen Sean's video from earlier today, go check it out. He did a great card that was also shared on the socials earlier. So definitely go give that a look on his Manly Made Minute channel. So hello, Jay. Hello, Sandy. Hello, hello. Hey, Luann. How are you? Hey, Karen. Hi, Shelly. Yes, wasn't that a great card? Yeah, I agree. He did a really nice job. Hello, my friend Deb and Dante. I'm sure he's there with you. Hey, Penny, thanks for joining. Hello, my sister Brenda. Kara, hello, friend. Hello, Isis. Have I been saying your name wrong? I hope I have not been. But if I have, please, let's have a conversation so I can say it correctly. Because I thought I heard Candy maybe pronounce it a little differently earlier today. So I definitely want to make sure I'm saying hello correctly and speaking to you correctly. Oh, thank you, Brenda. Hello, T. Welcome. My audio is soft. Okay. Is anybody else having a hard time hearing me? Please let me know in the chat. That would be great. Hey, April, welcome, friend. Marisha, hi. What a nice surprise to see you show up. Hello, hello. Welcome, friend. Nice to see you. For those that may not know the Diary of Belle Rose, Marisha Dean, she's actually going to be one of the instructors for SCT's big event coming up. So let's give a nice round of applause to our friend Marisha. I'm sure that's going to be an absolutely fabulous class. Hi, Shirley. Welcome. Okay, so I'm hearing that the audio's okay overall. So I'm happy to hear that. I'm doing well, thanks. Hope you are too. I was just saying Thursdays are a favorite day of mine because one, it's closer to Friday, which means, we're closer to the weekend, but also because Min of Monroe is on and I get to hang out with all of my fun chatting friends, crafty friends, and have a good night. So you have a gentle Mr. T. Thank you. That's so nice of you to say. I appreciate that. So I have Sean, as I mentioned, Sean had a video earlier. There's Dante. Hello, hello. It's soft on your TV. Okay. And so Sean had a video earlier today that was fabulous. His card is great. Brutus Monroe shared it out, so you'll see it on the socials. And I have a fun card planned with the same products tonight. So I won't hold you up too much. So let's, without further ado, go to my down screen and we can go over what I'll be using this evening. So actually, let me zoom out as well because it was still zoomed in from the other night when I had zoomed in for a close-up. So tonight is all about fun celebrations and just celebrating life, really, which I think is an awesome message because really let's celebrate every day that we have. So tonight we're using the Sparkle and Celebrate stamp set, which is the inspiration box stamp set of the month, and it's really fun, really fabulous. You get 3 theme park / carnival type silhouettes, as well as some fireworks and 2 great sentiments: Sparkle and Celebrate, which Sean used earlier, and Celebrate Every Moment, which I'm actually going to use this evening. Then I'm also bringing in the Theodore's Carnival Ride set. just because it matches in so well with I had previously used the roller coaster one, but I never had a chance to use the carousel. So I am definitely going to take advantage of using that one tonight to tie it into that theme park background. And then I'm using the absolutely beautiful cotton candy paper, which is the paper pad of the month. I think that the blue and pink in here just makes such a fabulous, nice sunset theme. So I'm actually using one of those to have a nice, like, evening sky. And I did a little stamping earlier, just so that I didn't, because stamping, coloring takes up so much time. So I figured I would get my stamping and die cutting of some of these pieces done sooner. So I did stamp out the Theodore on a circle that I cut out. I then also stamped out all of the fireworks. I used purple, red, and blue. And in addition to that, I also die cut out some shadow layers for the fireworks, which I thought would be fun. And I'm going to be using one of my favorite glitter glazes, which is the unicorn horn, which is really full of some great rainbow sparkle, and I thought would work really well with fireworks. So that is my plan for this evening. Let's see. Luann, absolutely agree. Every day is a gift, and that's really how we should think of it. There, that should help with some of the glare. I put my overhead light out of the way. Jay, always softer. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes Restream has a part at play in that too. And Restream is the video service we use for putting the video out to multiple sources. Yeah, the carnival theme is great. And Brenda, my sister Brenda, said bringing back childhood memories of Mountain Park, which, yes. I agree, Brenda. I have been rather nostalgic using this set for that very reason. So my sister Brenda's in the chat, and we were lucky enough to have a small amusement park in our hometown of Holyoke, Massachusetts. It was called Mountain Park. And it was like your standard, kind of not as large as a Six Flags. Thanks, Sandy. Thanks for letting me know. But a little smaller than Six Flags, but had all the standard rides you would be, you would find at an amusement park. So definitely made me think of that, Brenda. Great minds think alike. So I'm going to use 2 of the silhouettes on this card tonight. And I'm using 2 because I want to have some room up at the top for my fireworks. And these 2 will fit nicely down here. And this way we kind of have a nice representation of the rides that you might find at an amusement park as well. So I'm going to space them out just a little bit. Because I want to have room for our friend Mr. Theodore to be there right in the center of those. And I also want to leave some room for my sentiment, which I'm going to put down there at the bottom. So, I understand, Jay. Yep, it does make sense because of Christmas in July. Yep, that makes sense. Yeah. Let's see, and then I want to get that fun little spinning ride in, and we'll cut off a little bit of the roller coaster, but that's okay because you can tell that that's a roller coaster. So let me grab my stamping platform, and we'll get to stamping this background. So, oh, really, T? I'm not familiar with that particular park simply because, I've only been out to the West Coast, honestly, 2 times, both for work travel. So I didn't unfortunately get to spend a lot of time. But yeah, the roller coaster actually reminds me of the first roller coaster I ever rode, which was at Mountain Park, and it was one of those old wooden roller coasters, and it was very much structured like that. Not too many up and down dips, and just your standard coaster. So I'm going to get that moved out of the way so that I can be in screen here. Built in the early 1900s. Very cool. So very similar to the my first roller coaster. Yeah. Awesome. So there we go. And I am going to stamp these in black to get that nice silhouette, just because I love a good silhouette and I love a good silhouette stamp. And these really are exactly that. So let's get these inked up. Yeah, those old wooden coasters, those didn't scare me too much. I will say that my first time going on to a more modern loop coaster, I really did not enjoy, and I begged the ride operator to let me off, and he just laughed, and we had to go through it going backwards. And yeah, I was not a happy camper. I think I made pretty much everybody at the park laugh with my screaming. So, but that's okay. At least I was able to provide some comic relief to folks, Hey, Jamie, welcome, friend. So yes, I had mentioned it when Marisha said hello, but definitely go on and check out the products she'll be using in her class on scrapbook.com as part of SBC Fest, because it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm a little traumatic, yes. A little mean, but could they have let me off on that other end? Probably. But it is what it is. And my family has a funny story to tell out of it. I was sitting next to my dad on the coaster, and he certainly got a good chuckle out of it. So, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? That's what they say, at least. Okay, I'll get the rest of that ink off later. Yes, Marisha is very well known, Jay, and she's a great teacher. And she also makes some really fabulous shaker mixes and some great digital products out on her site. So I would highly recommend checking it out. I hear you, T. I'm not big on heights either. The Ferris wheel is one ride that completely terrifies me. Yeah, absolutely agree. But as you can see, even having both of those together and like pretending that's the midway in between, is really, it's a great image, and Theodore is going to be prominently featured there in the center, and he's going to be having a great time. And those, what I love about the set is they make a great background, and they can also make a great focal point. So it's a really great stamp set. Oh, it shipped today, April. That's awesome. I haven't ordered mine yet because I'm still deciding if I'm going to do the entire package, which I'm kind of leaning towards. Jay, she is Diary of Belle Rose. So if you just Google Diary of Belle, Belle, Rose, then you will find her. Yeah. So we have our background. Before I get carried away, I am going to get that stuck onto my card base. Sandy Scrambler or Tilt. I love the Tilt-A-Whirl, and I love the Scrambler too. Those were two of my favorites. Absolutely agree with you on that, my friend. Yeah, I loved anything that went around. It's the heights that really get me the most. So I'm just getting some tape onto the back of that, and we'll get that onto our card base. I was a little afraid earlier about maybe having to cancel tonight, but then I didn't want to because I knew that Sean wasn't going to be here. But I had such a sinus headache all day, and it finally broke just as like a little after eating dinner. So I was really glad that happened because it just was not fun at all. So I'm going to do some coloring now. So I'm going to grab some markers to get this colored in. Bear with me while I grab some colors here. I want some cool grays for Mr. Theodore. Just because that's how I've been coloring him since he came out. And that's kind of the way that I envision him. I envision him as a really cute little gray mouse. And so I like having him in the grays. Let's see. Now, if my colors were back in order and I didn't just throw things in, they might be a little bit easier to find here, but that's okay. When I have some downtime, I can go ahead and try to get that back into shape. I think my horse is going to be some shades of brown. So we're going to do we're going to bring in, I don't want to go too dark. I think I'll do Cara Cocoa and some khaki, maybe some chamois. And then I want some red for the big top in the background. So let's get a nice red out. Oh, thanks, Sandy. Yeah, I did not want, I really didn't want to cancel. So I'm really happy that I started to feel better. And then I'm going to grab a darker yellow for the pole. Let's see. Let's go with sunflower for that. And we'll see where that takes us. We will start with these. Somebody had said something about rides. Sandy, the zipper. Oh, I'm not familiar with the zipper. Huh. Okay. All right. Well, now, you know what? Let's start in with Mr. Theodore first. So I'm going to start in with this one to come in around his ears. Get a little darkness in there. And then I like to just come down on the side, come over by that hair a bit. And then the rest I will color in pink to get that inside of the ear look. Come around his head a little bit. Make his hands a little darker. And his feet, and just a bit of that tail. And just put a little bit over here in these areas. That's a little darker because the light may not be hitting him as much there. And now I'm going to come in with my gray. That's a little lighter. And start to fill that in. Yeah, Sandy, I would have totally been bummed if I ended up missing the live tonight. So luckily, like I said, I had some dinner and took a little bit more medication and felt better. So, and you know what? Chances are I probably would have still come on anyways. even if I wasn't feeling well, just because I enjoy this so much. Get to see all of my fun crafty peeps. My fellow Brutus Monroe fans. There we go. Now I'm just going to come in with that pink. And I'm going to color in his nose and that little tongue. And just do the insides of his ears. There we go. Going to move on to the pole. Kind of give it that golden look, which is why I went for a darker yellow. And let's move into our horse. So, I'm gonna put the bridle in with that darker brown and have that come around on his saddle as well. Then we're going to put some brown highlights into his tail. And now let's move into the chamois and blend that a bit. For the hair. There we go. Carousel horses are pretty, T. I agree. And you know, maybe I'm a nerd for saying this, but which wouldn't surprise anyone because I think most of you know I am anyways, but I always loved the carousel. Even as I got older, I was one of those people that would still want to take a ride on it. And that amusement park that I spoke of earlier, Mountain Park, had a beautiful old carousel, the kind that had like the vintage couple scenes on the panels on the inside. You know, they look like they were from the 1910s, 1920s. And when Mountain Park closed back in the early 90s, the city I grew up in, Holyoke, had a big fundraiser and purchased the carousel from the owners of Mountain Park, and it's still in downtown Holyoke in a state park called Heritage State Park, and you can still go and ride it. You know what? I wanted to do that in reverse. I wanted this one to do that shading, so I'm going to go over that, which is really cool. So it's nice that they still have that there. It's still visited. It's just very nostalgic. Well, hello, Jane. Welcome, friend. Hello, hello. Nice to see you. T with the ring. Hey, Annie. Geez, twice with Annie today because we had a team meeting earlier today. How lucky am I? T, hashtag nerds unite. Absolutely. You know, when I was younger and, you know, I was a nerd in school. Well, maybe not unfortunately. Um, Senior year, I you know how they have those awards they give out, and my classmates had voted me most studious, which, everybody joked, and my sister Brenda included, used to say, oh, that's the nerd award. But, as I got older, I'm more and more proud to like take on that title of nerd. I don't mind it. Yes, I know it is. It's so nice that you were able to make it, Jane. Yeah, I think it'll be fun. We're using some great products from the July release from Brutus Monroe, and yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun once it's all finished up. I'm going to come in with just a little bit of gold with a gold pen, just to add some little bit of gold in here, not a ton. But you'd usually see that on part of the horse gear at the head area. And let's see, for the saddle, let's grab, I don't know. Let's grab a nice light blue, since I have the blue up in the sky. We'll keep it within that kind of within that color palette. Thanks, Isis. And Brenda, yes. Oh, yeah. My sister Brenda did not love school as much as I did. And so she worked at a local record store during high school. And I ended up kind of feeling bad because she had asked me what would be an easy class to take. And I said, why don't you take Latin 1? I said, it's really easy. And I had started taking Latin in junior high. And so she took it. She did not like it. She was not having fun with it like I was. So I would do her Latin homework and her algebra homework. And in return, she would get me all of the CDs that I wanted from the store. And that worked out pretty well until my parents found out. I apologize. There was a delivery at the door and the dogs kind of freaked out. So yeah, it worked out at first, but then it definitely it caught up to us. But see, April, actually, I really enjoyed Latin. But again, there's my nerd showing. So as I say, that's okay. Yeah. I ended up by the end of high school, I had taken 5 years of Latin. And my last year of it was the whole class was translating the Roman poet Virgil, his epic poem, the Aeneid, into English. And I loved every minute of it. And I also was lucky. I had the same Latin teacher that my sister did, but I really liked her. And we got along well, and I had a lot of fun with it. Okay, now for that tint in the back, I want to add just a little bit of color there. So I think I want to try a cream color on that. Yeah, let's try one of, let me test one of these and see how that will look. Oh no, sorry to hear that, April. Uh, yeah, that one's actually pretty good. That was the deep cream. Yeah, I like the deep cream better than the regular cream, so we're going to go with that. Although I could put the deep cream or the regular cream since it's a little different up here, just to kind of highlight a bit. Um, oh, it definitely did help out with that, Jane. I found that when in college, I had to take business law, and then I decided to take constitutional law. Not that I was I wasn't a law major. I was a business major, an accounting major. But yeah, it definitely did help out quite a bit. And then in English, yeah, English as well, just because of all of the derivatives. So there we go. And then to finish him off, I want to take a nice light blue gray type of color. Pale grayish blue. That's what I'm going to use. And oh, Brenda, you're kind. Thank you. Very kind. Very sweet. Hello, under a pile of papers. Welcome. Happy to have you joining us here tonight. And I'm just going to color that in just so it's not that stark white. And it will kind of blend in with that nice blue that we have up here that I'm kind of calling my night sky, my sunset sky. But Brenda, that's not to say there were definitely things I struggled with as well. But what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And we've always I'm very fortunate because my sisters and I we've always been close, and I have that same close relationship with my niece, which I absolutely love. And so it it all works out, and we're always there for each other. So okay, so is I'm taking it that under a pile of papers is Benita. Hi, Benita. Nice to meet you. I don't think I've seen your name before, so it's definitely nice to be introduced. And then to kind of blend in with that paper, I'm going to take a very, very light pink and just come in towards the bottom of that, just to kind of give us that same transition. So it's going to be just like a light pinkish purple. And then I'll come over again with that blue gray just to blend it. And what's nice is this is so light, I can just easily go right over and it's not gonna miscolor anything. So now we can just blend that right in. And I'm gonna start it from here and just go up, come down. And it doesn't have to be perfect, just however you like your sky to look. And then I'm just going to finish off by coming up one more time. There we go. So now, hey, Bree. So now we have our Theodore colored. And as I mentioned, he's going to go right on there. And I really do, I know this is further away, so let me zoom in a second here. Thanks, Shelley. I was actually just about to say that. It really does, because you can see that also with the paper I'm using, it's going to be a nice blend in to that background too. So I think that works out really nicely. Before working on my fireworks, I'm going to get my sentiment stamped. And I had mentioned earlier, 2 sentiments in this particular set. They're Sparkle and Celebrate, and that's the one that Sean had used earlier. So I'm going to use the other one, which is Celebrate Every Moment. And when I was cutting down my paper earlier, I happened to notice that the sentiment should fit right on this strip of paper that I cut off, which is about a 1/2 inch. And now I just need to make sure I get it down onto my stamp platform well enough so that it doesn't decide to take off on me. The paper, that is, as I try to lift the stamp up. So I'm going to move those stamps off of there now and get these on there. Thanks, Jane. Yeah. He is a cute little guy. Thanks, April. He needs a wobbler or a spinner. Yeah. You know what? I do have I do have wobblers. I could always put him on one. Yeah. So let's get this down there. Now, to make sure that that holds down, as you can see, I reuse my my low tack tape, and why not? Like, I use it until either it's colored up and I can't use it, or it loses its stick. So let's get that stuck down there with this. And let's get the sentiment on there. There we go. I noticed, I think that's lifting up a little bit. So I want to fix that so that it's a little straighter across and aligned. Well, how did that happen? Oh, I pulled it. That's why. I stretched it. Let's try that again. Why is it? Well, it seemed to have fit earlier. Yeah, and when I put it down here, it does. I don't know why it was giving me that look that it seemed a little off. Okay, I'm going to leave well enough alone and just get it stamped this time. Oh, what did I miss? What did Bree say in the chat? Oh, yes, congrats. Bree is my niece, for those that don't know. Yeah, tomorrow's her anniversary of ringing the bell and beating colon cancer. And she was a brave warrior every moment of the fight, I have to say. Perfect. That looks great. Okay, so let's get that up now. And I'm going to grab some double-sided tape because I want to pop that up onto the bottom underneath my midway scene. Yes, I agree, Sandy. I absolutely love the crafting community, and, you know, how social media makes it so easy to meet and interact with everyone, because I have met so many great people, such as all of you, through that. And I enjoy it. And I love seeing everyone's creations and the way that we can inspire and really learn from each other and lift each other up too. I think that's important, which is why I love to comment on. I mean, I certainly can't comment on every post I see, but especially people that I'm connected to, I definitely try to. So there we have our sentiment. We're going to have little Theodore right there in the middle. And now I'm going to work on my fireworks. And I have to say, I think that this community here that, has built up in watching Sean and I is just such an amazing group. And I'm not just saying that because you're all here. I really do mean that. Because everyone shows up and participates and chats and talks to each other. And I mean, how much better is that, And the last of my lore. I'm thinking I might be able to get all of these onto the card, which would be great. I wanted just a little bit of a darker color behind them. I'm thinking now maybe I should have cut some navy instead of the black, but that's okay because the black really does blend in with the silhouette of the midway. So I'm actually okay with that. Absolutely, April. I so agree with that. It is such a fun group. I'm glad that I got some of that stamping and die cutting done before the live, because I see that we're doing okay on time, and I'm afraid that had I not, I would be woefully behind. So this is actually going pretty good. Oh, Annie, you're so kind, my friend. I think I've told this story before, but I will say it again. I met Annie on the very first design team that I was ever on, and I had applied just on a whim, kind of being like, oh, I probably won't get chosen, but I'm going to apply anyway. And it was for a company called Wishbone Stamps that did not last very long, unfortunately, but they had some fun stamp sets. And I met Annie through that. And I have to say that she was so friendly on the team as soon as I joined. And not, I don't want to knock anyone, but not everybody on the team was that friendly or as friendly as Annie. And, we've followed each other and stayed in touch. And, then I got to start working on Brutus Monroe with her. And she's just a lot of fun and an amazing, amazing creator. So now I'm just putting a little bit of that unicorn horn on here. Oh, absolutely. So, you know what I need to do, Sandy? I'm going to zoom back out. There we go. I wasn't even paying attention. Thank you. Yes, Annie is awesome. I absolutely agree. And I'm lucky that I get to work closely with her this year on the Brutus Monroe team because we're on the same team. And so that just means we get to collaborate even more and chat even more, which is nice. once I get these on, I'm going to let that dry a bit, and we'll see if I'm going to add any more of the unicorn horn on after this dries. I may, or I may just leave it as it is. I want to see it dry, or somewhat dry first when I place them on there before I fully decide. Suppose I could always add some after the fact too, so we'll see. And while that is drying, I'm going to put some double-sided tape onto the back of Mr. Theodore. Foam tape, I should say. So we'll put some there and put some here. That's true, Bree. I completely agree. Bree would, be in our lives here on Men of Monroe last year, as well as the Sunday night live that I do with Christy and Melissa, making cards with friends. And it was just so nice that people would ask her how she's doing and say that they're praying for her, and that really means a lot. And another reason why I say that the you can't beat the crafting community. You really can't. That looks approximately center to me. Maybe I'm scooch them over just a tad to like right there. Yeah, that looks good. And now I'll start to get some onto the back. I want the fireworks kind of elevated too, with a little bit of dimension. So I know this is probably still going to be a little wet. So before I do that, the problem is that the drying could be a little tough if they all go flying away on me. So let's see if I can get a magnet onto the black there. And if I can do one onto here, I may be able to pull it off and get those a little dry. So I'm going to mute for just a second to try to get some air onto these. Pretty good overall, but I just noticed I did get a flyaway, but I found it. So we're going to do the flyaway first, since I know he's a little damp and I can work around that. Cut that off the back. There we go. This time I am going to grab tweezers to make it easier to get that off of there. Tell you, if they could ever invent some double-sided tape where the foam tape where the backing comes off easier, that would be a game changer for me. Okay, so we're going to put this purple one right up in the center there. And my reason for doing that is now I know I have blue and red left. And since blue and red make purple, we'll have blue and red on either side of it. Yeah, Isis, that's Iceland is a trip that I definitely would like to do. Um, some friends of mine went a couple of years ago, and they really enjoyed it. So let's get this one. I'm going to put kind of down a little lower since it fits. Oh, come on, you. There we go. And then we'll do the blue. U-line foam tape peels easily. Oh, good to know. I will have to check that out, Sandy. These strips are just ones that I have like purchased off of Amazon. And so, you know, you can buy a lot of them and they're relatively inexpensive. We'll do that one down kind of low. Then let's see. I missed one. There we go. Now we can put these smaller ones, and I think I'll be able to, I think I can fit them all on there. Charter a steamship with my dogs to cross the Atlantic to Iceland, Jay? Wow, that would be one heck of a ride. From what I hear, that North Atlantic can be quite the unpredictable weather and waves. I've seen some videos on TikTok of fishermen up north of the coast of Canada, and whew, I'll tell you, those are some brave souls. I can't imagine being in those conditions. All right. So we are in the home stretch here, which is good because I see we're right on time too. So we'll get that off. And then there's going to be one more step. So, you know, I like things to be balanced out and we're not balanced, but that's okay. I'm going to, you know what? Maybe I'm going to leave this little guy off for right now. I'm going to leave him off because I kind of like that balance of the fireworks. So to finish, I am going to put, just since they have these fabulous centers, I'm going to put just a little dab of glue in each center. And then I'm going to pull out my very much used and favorite item from a while, like 2 years ago now, which are these wonderful Brutus Monroe crystals that there still may be some varieties, definitely not all of them, but some may still be available on the website. And I'll tell you, these really go such a long way. They are fantastic. So we're going to put 1, 2, 3. That is true, Jane. Yeah, I could definitely cut that in half and have it on the side. Oh, now I left my poker tool behind. Let me get that out of there. There we go. And I'm going to grab 2 of... Well, hello, Susan. How are you? Nice to see you joining. Yes, we are almost to the end of our hour together and the design here, but nice that you get to see some of it. And yeah, our friend Sean, who is normally here with me, is off tonight because he's traveling for work. And so he put out a video earlier today that he pre-recorded. And he made a fantastic card using the same products. So I highly recommend his video. Was great and a lot of fun. So now we also have like that nice little explosion in the center with the crystal. And I'm going to see, can I dim this a bit? I don't want it to be too bright on you. And I'm going to zoom in to show that final card. So there we go. There is my design for tonight. We have Theodore on the ride with the amusement park silhouette behind, and we have these great fireworks going off in the sky above, and the reminder to celebrate every moment. Thinking about it now, I would definitely, I'm not sure I'd do the shadow on the fireworks again. Or maybe what I would do is cut it out the shadow with the same paper and stamp those onto that same paper so it kind of blends in a little bit more. But thanks so much, friends. I really appreciate it. Yeah, there's some nice shine. And then that unicorn glaze, unicorn horn glitter glaze adds in a nice amount of sparkle to it as well. So yeah, there we go. So I'm going to come up to my face cam now. Thank you, Sandy. Yes, if you did enjoy watching, please go ahead and like the video. I'd really appreciate that. That lets us know, it lets Christopher and team know that you're enjoying the Mint of Monroe. So very much appreciated. But even more so, friends, thank you. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me tonight. I always have so much fun chatting with all of you and talking with you and just having like your company as you know, as I'm creating, and I know Sean feels the same way. So really, thank you. Hope you have a great rest of your night. I'm going to walk my dogs and then settle into the chair with maybe a little ice cream to watch a marathon of Flea Market Flip that's on. And then I hope you have a great weekend too. See you again soon. Take care, friends. Thanks. Good night.